Somerset got back to winning ways by beating Glamorgan by 3 wickets in the roller coaster of a game with 10 balls remaining in their latest YB40 match at Taunton. Put in, Glamorgan made their intentions clear from the start. Lots of sides coming to Taunton know that, when batting first, very big scores needed to be posted, and that means fast starts need to be made. In spite of shots like this from Mark Wallace, however, this wasn't that quick. Indeed, only 31 runs had come off the opening 6.5 overs when Wallace tried something different, but gloved his paddle off Craig Macheda to standing keeper Alex Barrow. Only 7 more runs have been added off the next 14 balls, and then Chris Cook pulled Jamie Overton's short delivery out to Dean Elgar to depart for only 3. 4 balls later, and opener Will Bragg was also out, carving another short one from the speedy Overton to Peter Trigo after contributing 26 runs to the 42 on the board. Glamorgan were in danger of really underachieving when Jim Allenby was nicely caught by Barrow off Macheda, a wicket which left the Welshman on 61 for 4 at the end of the 13th over. So they now look to Marcus North to get them out of trouble. Put back by those wickets, they now needed someone with North's experience to guide them to a much more respectable total. With Murray Goodwin a useful foil at the other end, that score moved on to 97 for 4 at the halfway stage of the innings. Max Waller's googly then did for Goodwin, who dragged the short ball to James Hildreth to go for 16. The wickets continued to come at the wrong moments as far as the visitors were concerned. Only 39 runs now came off the next 8 overs, and then the impressive Overton proved to be a little too quick for North, who nicked to Hildreth to depart for 46 and 136 for 6. Glamorgan were in danger of not using up all of their overs when Graham Wagg thought about a suicidal single and was run out by Waller, leaving the visitors on 143 for 7 with 64 balls still remaining. Yet not only did they survive, but they also added 96 runs in the last 10 overs. Dean Koska started to change the pattern of this game by slugging Steve Kirby for a 6. And he got the same result in the next over as he ruined Overton's figures by thumping him over the long-on boundary. Koska's real job was to support the more talented batsman, Ben Wright. He used his crease well to find the gaps as, at long last, the handy partnership started to develop. As it turned out, it was a little more than handy, as this pair added 89 in only 9 overs for the 8th wicket. Wright completed a 50 in what was his first appearance for Glamorgan in this summer's 40-over competition. He got there in the 36th over, by which time the runs were coming thick and fast. This was Wright's 6th 4, and that took into his half-century off his 48th delivery. He'd helped change the nature of this contest. As had Koska, who was out for 27 ball 37 when he drove Elgar to Overton to end a brilliant partnership in the penultimate over. Michael Hogan also fell in that Elgar over as he found Hildreth at long on. Wright was left unbeaten on 75, only 4 short of his one-day best, as Glamorgan did really well to post a total of 245 for 9 from their 40 overs. Now all eyes are on Trigo and Marcus Trescothick, 2 men who've given their side explosive starts all summer long in this tournament. Both were soon finding the rope again, as Glamorgan would have known that one or both of them simply had to be dismissed before too long. Wagg was hit to all parts by both men, but then he did what he needed to do by having Trescothick caught off a leading edge by North after making 13. Nick Compton was back for Somerset, but his season struggles continued as he edged Simon Jones to Jim Allenby. Jones then just telling the England man where the pavilion is situated, or something similar. Jones was then mighty close to having danger man Trigo out, the batsman nearly heading the ball back onto his own stumps. And Trigo was also missed in the next over as Wallace missed the opportunity to stump him off a frustrated Koska. That was costly as Trigo advanced to his 5th 50-plus score in 5 one-day innings this year. This latest one had come off only 43 balls, and it's easy to see how Trigo is currently this competition's leading run scorer. By the end of this knock, he'd passed 400 runs in only 5 innings of very hard hitting. He now found some good support from Elgar, who was making his first appearance for Somerset in the one-day arena. A fine short-form player, he kept his side just about up with the required rate. The score read 113 for 2 at the halfway stage, leaving another 133 to get off the second 20. And with Trigo in awe-inspiring form once again, here adding his first 6 to his 9 other flawed boundaries, it appeared that Somerset would saunter home for their 4th win in 5 games. But with a total on 142 in the 25th over, the game began to turn again after Trigo on 72 was bowled on the charge by North. Elgar then moved to his solid 50 but gave his wicket away at the start of over number 28, right with the catch in the deep, which put the score onto 154 for 4. That became 156 for 5 balls later, as Hildreth was hit on the boot by Koska and given out leg before. And Koska did it again in his next over by bowling Arul Sapaya for 6. Now on 161 for 6 in the 30th, Somerset were looking second best. 74 were wanted from the last 8 overs, but then Jones let the game slip from his side's grasp as he returned to the action, only to be smashed for 26 runs off a single over. Macheda striking not only these 2 sixes, but also 3 other 4s. The over actually ended with 2 dot balls as well. Jones was then replaced by Wagg, who bowled Barrow with a slower ball to leave Somerset needing 43 off the last 35 balls. Macheda and Waller did their job at the end absolutely perfectly. They remained calm, picking off the boundaries when they needed to, until winning the game with more time than most people would have expected at the 30-over mark to spare. It had been nervy, but Somerset had got home. They won by 3 wickets in what was an excellent game of cricket which ebbed and flowed throughout. Macheda ended on a 23-ball 40 and Waller on a 19-ball 25, career bests for both. And that had seen Somerset home to stay in second place in the group, still a point behind West Country rivals Gloucestershire, but with a game in hand. Glamorgan dropped to 5th, 3 points further behind.